So I may add maybe 3 more bags of dirt or compost. As you can tell, I might add some. That's what I might do. But I got some sawdust from my local Home Depot, like where they cut the wood and stuff at. They got a machine that collects the sawdust and then they take it and dump it. Well, sawdust is very good compost for your garden, and especially if you have a compost bin. Sawdust, shredded paperwork, scraps from your kitchen, no meats or produce, but your lettuce, tomatoes, celery, herbs, that type of thing is also good for your compost at home. So I got a big bag of it and I sprinkle it on this bed, but I also sprinkle it over there where my peas at, and I watered the peas down, and I also put it over in the rest of my other garden beds. I had to cover up my cherries because they starting to turn red, and I would be so mad if a bird comes along and eat them. So I just threw a little sheet cloth. It can still get air, rain, everything it needs, but it makes it hard for the bird to pick at my fruit. So yeah, I put the sawdust in those beds, and then I just put the remaining of it in my compost. Now my compost is doing good. I done covered it up, but I had a lot of scraps like my broccoli leaves, my sweet potato vine that I keep trimming down. I cut that up real fine. My watermelon vines, there wasn't no pest or nothing on it. I just chopped them up real good and I put them in here. I put some of my daughter's rabbit poop. That's a good fertilizer in here, along with shredded paper. I am what you call an extreme couponer, so I actually invested in a shredder, and now when I'm done with my coupons and they expire and I'm done with the paper, I shred it. So I put that in here, and then I put the sawdust in here, and as you can tell, I wet it just a little bit, and all I'm going to do is mix this around real good and close the lid back up on it and let that do what it do. My sunflowers I just watered. It got to be roughly around what time? 7:30. I just watered my sunflowers. So here's my bed. Tomorrow I'll go get more soil and I'll put over it. And I did a change of plans. I originally wanted onions in the middle of this bed because this bed is so big. I didn't want to have to walk through here to harvest any of my vegetables. So I had decided to put garlic and onions in this bed right around the middle part, because those take the longest to harvest and I don't have to worry about pulling those until February or March of next year. So I won't even have to worry about that bed for a while. But I decided to make a whole bed just for my garlic alone. Since I have so much garlic, I made a bed just for that alone. This right here, I will put my brassicas in this bed. So to confuse the insects and the white flies and the worms that eat your brassicas, like your cabbage and your broccoli and your lettuce and your Brussels sprouts, I'm going to mix it a little. So it'll be, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but it'll be cabbage, lettuce, cabbage, lettuce, cabbage, lettuce, and then I have 2 different type of cabbages along with 3 different type of lettuces. And then I will have broccoli and dill, which is a herb that gets rid of insects that eat my brassicas. So I might do broccoli and dill, broccoli and marigolds, which is a flower that I have over there. And I'm actually thinking about pulling it, putting rocks here and putting this marigold in my bed, because as you can tell, I wasn't expecting for my America Grow flower to get this big here, and it spread it. So now when I close my gate, it's very hard to open it without stepping on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that. Oh, my light's trying to come on. So yes, I would do cabbage, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, marigolds, dill, carrots, onions. Which onions? I'm gonna have the purple and the yellow onions, but I want those like throughout all my beds, because onions is also a natural pest resistance that most pests and insects can't take the smell of. So once I'm able to start planting onions, I'll put maybe 6 in this bed with all my beans. This bed will be beans and peas, marigolds, as you can see, that's in there, and some herbs. I'm gonna throw some herbs in here, but that's just my beans. My pole beans and my peas will be in this bed. But this will be my brassica bed. I haven't figured out what I want to do here, because I like this walkway for me to harvest my vegetables on that bed. But I got the cherries there, and right here I have what does that say? Turnips and radishes, and they're coming up just fine. I have that there, so I may just leave that just the way it is. I have my cucumbers here, which after a while I'll be able to get rid of that whole pot. This is my herbs. I just harvest some of it, but I'm thinking about, like, that's rosemary. I'm thinking about pulling rosemary and putting rosemary in that bed too. That's a herb that gets rid of pests. Sage, I have 2 different types of sage, but that one can go over here with my peppers. I have onions here, peppers here, basil here, tomatoes here, and carrots in this bed right here. So that's peppers, marigolds, basil, onions. I planted the bulbs around the back end of it, so they haven't came up yet. And then in the front, I planted carrots, which has came up. So I might plant some herbs in there to fill that bed up. Again, I'm trying to get rid of my pots. This bed right here, my collard greens seem to be doing good, but something in the back of my head keeps telling me go plant more collard greens and pull these. One, I could tell my collard greens leaves is nowhere near as big as they was when I first started. That's one thing. 2, I haven't harvested them. I don't know if they still good and sweet or not. I really haven't harvested them. They've just been growing, but I just make sure no bugs or pests got in them. So I haven't decided what I'm gonna do with that. This right here is my okra. It's still producing, as you can tell, but I'm gonna keep it up here until it can't produce no more. I know they say okra don't like cold weather, so as long as it keep producing, I'm gonna leave it. Then my peppers, I just trimmed my peppers. I got 6 peppers, I think. Red pepper, yellow pepper, green pepper, banana pepper. I got another pepper. Out of all my peppers, each plant only produced maybe 1 or 2 fruits, and that was it. So I wasn't hurt about pruning them down some, and whether they come back strong or next year, I know for a fact they'll come back strong next year. But because I'm in zone 9B, I won't be surprised if I still get peppers year round, because again, this is zone 9B. It's not a freeze zone. It does not get cold here at all. And where I planted them at still get direct sun, so I have no shade whatsoever here. So if they grow, that's perfect, but I'm gonna leave them. This is my other okra. It's slowly, y'all. I think it's about done, but I see maybe 1 or 2 peppers coming up. I mean 1 or 2 okras coming up, but I think she about done. And I'll go ahead and get this pot out my way. These are herbs that I harvest today with some peppers, a couple of okras. I'm gonna go ahead and dry these, let these air dry in my kitchen, my herbs, so that I can have those. And I went to my nursery to get dirt and more seeds, which I left the seeds in the house because I want to plant them up underneath my grow light in the house first, let them come up, give them a chance, and then plant them outside because they are my fall seeds, and we still get hot here, so I didn't want to take no chances. But anyway, I was surprised to see that my nursery had lettuce, kale, ooh, it's a fly around me, broccoli. They had it out. I could not let that just go like that. So I have kale. It's not the same kale, but you see, I have kale. And I have kale coming up in 2 or 3 places, but they're different kind. So that's a kale, and if I'm not mistaken, this is what they call the dinosaur curly kale. This is the curly kale. So that's good. And then my lettuce, I have some lettuces coming up. This is lettuce. The other one is beets, but that's lettuce. I have some lettuces coming up. So I went ahead and got this because this is a different lettuce that I am planting. So I will try that. And my broccoli. So the broccoli I have, and I googled this one. This one is called artwork broccoli, and it looks like it grows up more like a stem, kind of like this okra is. And the broccoli that I have in my kitchen that's coming up is more of a short, stocky broccoli, which takes longer to harvest. The one in my kitchen is telling me like 80 to 90 days. This one right here, you're looking at 30 to 60 days for this broccoli. So that's good that I will have a continuance of broccoli. But in this bed where I'm putting this at, so that I can have a continuous broccoli or continuous vegetables throughout the whole fall. I learned last year I only planted like 3 broccolis. They all came up. Once we cut them and ate them, I ain't had no more broccoli. So I'm gonna start this one where I got the starter ones that I just got from my nursery, and then I'm gonna plant some seed ones. That way, by the time those get harvested, my seed ones will be coming up. I'm gonna do that with my cabbage as well. I have cabbage in my kitchen, so I'm gonna plant those out here, and then I'm gonna come and make a row of cabbage seeds and let them come up. Which I'll show y'all that tomorrow. Back here, I planted four different types of flowers here. They're just flowers, no herbs, no nothing. They're just flowers. I planted 4 different kinds. I'm very excited about that. I just watered this. I can't wait for them to come up. I wanted this to just to be flowers. That's it, just flowers. Here, as you can tell, I got my beets, my radishes, my basil, and I'm gonna put strawberries here. Beets, radishes, strawberry, basil. I think that's it, because I want this bed to be a continuance as well. So as you can tell, I got radishes over here, I got beets right here in the middle, and then I got my basil throughout. But I have room over here to start another row of beets. I have room here to start another row of radishes if I choose to, so that I can have a continuance of both of them. And it is starting to rain here. So I gotta hurry up. Over here, I just did this just cause, y'all. I won't even be mad if it don't come up. I just had to try this space out. I had marigolds coming here. I thought they were done, but I slowly see some coming back, which is fine. But I put radishes and carrots along this whole thing right here. And look, they're coming up. So let's cross your fingers and hope that they do well. This is my lemongrass.